Hi, my name is Kriska.
And my name is Kira. And this is Milo. And we are going to be telling you the story of our road trip through the Silicon Valley. To give some background, Silicon Valley is the birthplace of high-tech innovation and has a thriving and dominant ecosystem for venture capital within the world.
Most investment in VC occurs within the United States, but the Silicon Valley is really the central hub of where this activity happens. It's notoriously known for big companies that influence day-to-day life, such as Google, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, and much more.
The reasons why we decided to embark on this journey up to the Silicon Valley is because we wanted to immerse ourselves in the venture capital community and we wanted to gain a better understanding of the culture surrounding this infamous valley.
I am from the Silicon Valley, specifically Palo Alto, and I found that I had a very limited knowledge as to what went on within the VC world. After taking Shan's entrepreneurship course, it piqued my interest to discover more about venture capital and the Silicon Valley.
Last spring, I declared my entrepreneurship minor at Chapman, and since then, I've been taking some business classes that have really sparked my interest for the business world. I've participated in a few startup courses where one of my businesses, Flytime, was a finalist in the Chapman Business Model Competition this past December. I overall was looking to heighten my knowledge and see what it takes to maybe one day have to pitch to a venture capitalist. We began this course by learning a general overview of the venture capital business in Silicon Valley. We had multiple guest speakers and also participated in a mock negotiation in which we learned how to structure a VC deal, from what to expect to what might need to be said to obtain a desired outcome, how to come to an agreement on the valuation of the company, how to determine the board seats, and overall just the necessary process to make your company successful.
From the guest speakers, we learned different advice regarding different perspectives, from a by-the-books lawyer to an eccentric angel investor involved in the alcohol business. This meeting with Tom Toy was really informative because it set the tone for the week and demonstrated how meetings with future companies would be.
Startup Capital Ventures primarily focuses their efforts into the IT industry for three key reasons. The time to exit is the fastest, investment-wise, IT companies are less capital intensive, and the return on investment tends to be higher and acquired much faster.
Many of the questions and answers that were asked in this meeting were relevant because they could be asked to each company that we visited. A question that I found interesting was, what are the crucial skills that you find important for an entrepreneur? Tom stated that the two most important skills that he found for any person, whether it was an entrepreneur or venture capitalist, was to have sales skills and networking skills.
Tom views an entrepreneur as a person with a drive for excellence, persistence, commitment, and tenacity. He emphasized that the best CEOs are the ones that know when they need help, so they ask for it. He also stated that execution is key. Don't be afraid to do it, because if you are afraid, do you really have the drive? Also remember that your reputation is everything, and the relationships you make provide a solid framework for your career.
Additionally, I think the collaboration between Tom and Edwin gave good insight into how networking is crucial and how key connections can help expand businesses like theirs. The meeting with Doug Hamilton was interesting because we were able to learn about Silicon Valley Bank as well as the capital investment side of their business.
Last year, the bank invested 50% of their funds into VC-backed tech companies. In 2014, 64% of public companies were SVB clients. The differentiation of SVB is that they have sector expertise, impeccable teamwork, and take pride in their work culture. I liked how Doug emphasized that collaboration with the people you work with is important because you spend 10 plus hours a day with these people and there is no I in team. SVB wants to help entrepreneurs exceed worldwide. Some key knowledge from Doug to be successful in the investment in VC world was: you want to be able to forecast and identify insights about the industry. Building unique and material relationships with the general partners assigned to you is important. You want to be able to integrate yourself as an active participant of the venture ecosystem. And then you need to do everything in your power to help GPs exceed while generating revenue.
Lastly, we learned that it's crucial for SVB to not only manage the funds that they offer, but also the relationships around them, because these relationships can make or break deals for the future. The meeting with Kleiner was one of my favorite meetings because I felt that Rose was very knowledgeable as well as personable. Going to visit a company with so much power was intimidating, but we soon learned that Kleiner's operations are very lean. They have 80 people working full-time while maintaining close-knit relationships with their portfolio companies and provide advisory knowledge or direction when needed.
Kleiner focuses on building, growing, and scaling companies. Raouz sees an entrepreneur as a passionate leader with a strong vision, a good product and market sense, and has the ability to present ideas in a cohesive fashion, which is funny because he made a comment about for all of us to obtain a sales job once in our lives, because as an entrepreneur, you have to be able to sell your idea.
Additionally, a great surprise to the meeting was Ted Schlein, the managing partner at Kleiner. Both Ted and Raouz talked about the importance of investing while keeping passion within the product and sensibility of the market in mind. Lastly, I enjoyed that Raouz was able to answer a large number of questions, and he was able to create a friendly environment, and you can tell that he was really passionate about his job. The meeting with Victoria Chen at Citi Ventures gave a look at the corporate side of venture capital. Citi invests in education, financial services, energy, and healthcare. And Victoria was extremely knowledgeable about the companies that their funds invest in, as well as the technology that's integrated into those companies.
The important skills that she emphasized are your technical capability, sales skills, teamwork, and curiosity. There needs to be curiosity to help you find your passion within the industry and your competitive advantage.
Victoria's passion for wanting to add value to the world through her career was really inspiring and something that I want to try and achieve through my career.
Pivotal is the biggest startup company ever. They have 2,000 employees in over 25 different countries. They started from 9 acquisitions of different companies. IBM is their biggest competitor.
The meeting held by Jason Hurst and Leo Spiegel was very exciting. Leo was extremely passionate about the company and what Pivotal's revolutionary Cloud Foundry was doing for the company. His passion showed through the success of the company as well as his relationship with Jason.
Some insightful words from Leo and Jason that resonated with us are, you need to love your job, but you also need to keep working. The people you work for is super important. If it's not a fit, it won't last. And to be kind and give more than you take.
It's fascinating that their company open sources their software because this is oftentimes thought of as revealing the secret sauce, but this is actually one of their competitive advantages.
They don't promote the idea of a hero, and they try to create a culture that's very focused on creating synergy between multiple people. They sustain a team-centric outlook on how people operate within the company. This creates a dynamic culture with open-flowing ideas and creativity. Sierra Ventures is one of the older firms in the Valley focusing on early-stage tech and innovative tech. Across their 11 funds, the goal is to be first money in, but last money out. We met with Mark Fernandez, who has a background in mechanical engineering and a master's in robotics, but through his career, he found his way into venture capital.
He expanded on his customer-centric nature. 50% of his time is dedicated to existing deals, 40% to new deals, and 10% to goofing off for new deal flow. As a VC, he said you needed to know what pond to fish in, which is his metaphor to be smart about where he invests his own money.
His thoughts on how to be a successful entrepreneur include a visionary, sales skills, and good at relationship building. You want to have hyper curiosity because you want to understand why. You want to be hyper competitive so you always have the drive to succeed. You want to have failure to be successful because it helps you learn. And you gotta love what you're doing and need the flexibility to adapt. City National Bank started 3.5 years ago as a tech lending company. They aim to fund companies at Series A and B rounds so they can ride that wave. Since they are a bank-affiliated company, they provide unique debt and equity structured deals.
Kirk's character made the meeting exciting, but also different than others. Kirk's disdain for venture capital was apparent, and it brought a new perspective on the industry and how it progresses. Kirk said that 2016 has a 2008 feel, and that there is an imminent bubble burst. He also stated that 2 indicators that this bubble will burst is rent prices and traffic. This idea stood out to me because I believe it's accurate, and I think it was an opinion that was confirmed by a lot of other companies that we visited.
Garage Technology values entrepreneurs' passion, focusing on value, not making money. It's hard to sustain a business if the focus is on making money. Garage has intimate relationships with the entrepreneurs because they don't just seek making money. The focus on creating value allows the company to align their interests with the customer.
Bill Reichert's idea of creating the unbalanced team was interesting because although the idea sounded contradictory to Shan's idea of having a complementary team, it's actually the same idea because it requires diverse perspectives to create something successful. Bill stated that he wasn't self-aware, and I also found this to be interesting because when asked if entrepreneurship is an innate or learned trait, he believed that it could be learned. However, it seemed his personality seemed to naturally embody the traits of an entrepreneur.
The visit to Draper U was really cool. Tim was great because we got a glimpse into his eccentric personality. We appreciated his opinion on trying to have more women become heroes. It's an important message that should be spread throughout the VC community. Only 18% of applicants to Draper U are women. He wants women to be more driven. Don't just say, oh, a girl can't do that because that's what men do. You have to push against popular opinion. I also thought it was interesting some of the tasks that he has his Draper U students do. One of them where you go up to San Francisco on a train and you have to get the life story of the person next to you, or go up to San Francisco and get 5 different business cards with a story attached to them, pushing these students to network in real life.
I valued his insight of the industries that were ready to be disrupted: financial technology, big pharmaceutical, education, and government technology. He also emphasized emotional passion. He stated that you needed emotional strength to be a hero, and you needed to be able to relate to people. Tim wanted leaders to try new things, and he wanted people to be able to fail and feel good about it.
The meeting with Ari at Women's Startup Lab gave a completely different perspective into how people evaluate prospective companies. She chooses ones that have demos available, but does not actually invest in the company. Her business model collects tuition rather than equity in the companies participating in the program. She doesn't care if companies take 6 months opposed to 3 months for a return on investment, which is different perspective than the big dogs in the business because they want the fastest return on investment possible.
Ari emphasizes on collaboration and the idea of Hito. Hito means 2 people leaning on each other, which is the concept of synergy. She tries to integrate teams into the community to work well with each other, and she encourages free discussion amongst teams because it's important to have all ideas heard. Lastly, I think Ari's perspective on international culture surrounding women in business, specifically in Japan, was eye-opening because in the U.S. there isn't as much of a cultural shift that needs to be made to be more open to having women as entrepreneurs.
The meeting with Lisa Maki at Pocket Doc was very empowering. I liked how this meeting came from the perspective of the entrepreneur rather than those who are investing. Lisa's attitude on her business was something that was great because she has a lot of odds stacked up against her. She said there's a pattern, one that she doesn't fit into: the young, white, stereotypical Silicon Valley male. Not many women, let alone middle-aged, are able to gain VC funding, and that if she had been younger or a man, funding would have came much easier.
Pocket Doc aims to do 2 things: 1, to disrupt tech opportunities, and 2, to create a market shift. I believe that Lisa managed to make a platform that will accomplish that, as well as disrupt the healthcare industry. I think Lisa's understanding of who to target for funding took ingenuity, and I think that her attitude and outlook for her company is strong and humbling. Her passion is something that's really important and something that really resonated with us.
We wanted to thank Deborah, Alex, and Shan for this amazing road trip through Silicon Valley, and thank you for watching this video.